What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Porterway Podcast. As you can see, we got a full set today. A lot to get to and a little bit of time to get to it. Young men in the middle got a flight to make, but I want to start on the other end real quick. We got somebody. This is Brendan, right? Give everybody your information so they know where to follow you at, Brendan.
So yeah, go follow me. True School Sports on YouTube.
Put the mic a little bit closer.
Yeah, go follow me on True School Sports on YouTube. Thank you, Shawn, for having me on.
Yeah.
And we've been at it for a long time, like almost 11 years.
Yeah.
So, good to be
Dang.
here.
You don't even look.
Yeah. I know. I don't.
See, I started when I was 15. Brendan been a friend for a long time. He's chased me more than I've chased him, but he's wanting to come on the show for quite some time. Yep. I'm glad that you came in today. Yeah. Honestly, I am.
I was gonna come watch. I wasn't even trying to.
Yeah, and obviously Ant didn't make it.
Yeah.
Keep it 100 with you. If Ant was here, you probably wouldn't be on. But the fact that Ant didn't come in today, I was like, you sitting there, and I was like, oh no, he's not getting up today. Let's finally get it in. And a great guest to get it in with, along with everything. Real quick, take us through Quinton, Randall, and Curiel.
It was like the normal Quinton Randall type of fight. Quinn's long and awkward and just knows how to frustrate guys. And Curiel's been one of these guys that Golden Boy's been pushing for a while. He doesn't seem to have another gear. I'm waiting to see it for like 5 years. I remember when he stopped Kendo Castaneda 5 years ago on this card that I covered, when it was Zorro and Yunes and Gonzalez. They were talking a lot about him, like hyping him up. But he just hasn't had that gear in the pros, even though he was a Mexican Olympian. Yeah. So it kind of went to script. I thought, Quinton Randall would box well, frustrate him, probably in many people's eyes win the fight, but not get the nod. And so, I went to script. I didn't really learn anything new about Raul Curiel that I didn't know already.
All respect to Curiel. Good luck moving forward. Brendan?
I was really impressed with William Zepeda.
Gotta be.
He's obviously a Mexican volume, front foot dominant pressure fighter, but it was more so like the way he would lead the exchanges, like the feints, the stutter steps, when he would exit, when he would close the gap. I think that kept Lamont Roach at bay. He couldn't really figure out when to sit down on his shots, and for about I would say 8 or 9 rounds, Lamont just could not get into a rhythm. And then when the few shots he would land, Zepeda took them well. And obviously, if it becomes a fight where it's about volume and output, Lamont's not winning that battle with William Zepeda. So probably to me, and I was telling Shawn this last night, it's one of the more impressive performances at the championship level this year.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah, a lot of what Brendan said. But Lamont couldn't jab against the southpaws. Zepeda had his jab working. He really made the most of his reach and his distance and his advantages in those areas. And I think Lamont said as much after the fight. He expected to get a lot of what Shakur got. Just bury your head in my chest, and then my counterpunching opportunities, they'll be there all night. But that step back, it messed with him, and sometimes he'd make him fall short, especially with the hook. And then in the 6th round, he lands 2 big left hooks, and Zepeda's like, all right, let me get your head out of your chest and get back to establishing my distance. Better feet, better angles. He has good hand speed if you let him tee off and run the numbers on you. He picks up a head of steam. So there was a lot of smart people picking Zepeda in this fight, but I don't think by that margin that I won by. So it was really impressive. And I did come to the show with an agenda today, and I was talking about it with Brendan.
Okay.
I want to see Abdullah Mason and William Zepeda.
Do you?
I do, because here's the thing. It's a test for everybody involved. It's a tremendous test for this young champion right here. And I think Abdullah and his brothers and his father, they think of him, and I see him as a potential throwback. And back in the day, Sugar Ray Leonard, 23 years old, he fought Wilfred Benitez, and Wilfred Benitez was 21 fighting him, and Thomas Hearns, 21, 22 fighting Pepino Cuevas, and that you don't get that very often.
It's not unheard of. We just haven't seen it.
It's not. I'll give Devin credit fighting Lomachenko at 23, right? But that's rare in today's game, and it's a real step up fight. It's not this unification where the young star has all these advantages. It's a real risk at this age for him. And Abdullah, he's poised to grow into his man strength and in his frame at welterweight. Right. He's a lightweight like Oscar and Haney were lightweights. Yeah, they're lightweights because they're in their early 20s, getting down to this weight, but they're really going to grow into their frame at a higher weight. So it's a risk for him at this stage. For Zepeda, it's a risk. Abdullah's a bigger puncher. He's an electric talent. Usually when you're about 30 years old, you want to fight other guys that have the more established experience and resume. But I'm looking at DAZN, and they keep selling to us, this is the home of boxing. Now we have all the promoters under one umbrella. Well, the way this would normally go is that Top Rank will get Abdullah a title defense or two, and then he's going to move up, and that's that. Golden Boy will get Zepeda a title defense or two. Maybe they'll think of matching him in-house with Kid Austin. But what would be more likely is one of them moves up and they don't even do that.
Right.
So TNT, DAZN, Golden Boy, Top Rank, Zepeda, Abdullah, it's a test for everybody. You know, it's a risky fight for both fighters. It's a risky fight for both companies. But if this is what boxing needs, this is what DAZN, whoever's writing the checks, needs to say, this is what we want. And TNT has to say, you know that kid that headlined for us on our first show? And then you know the Mexican champ that headlined for us on the second. We like both. We like that. We want to see that together on the same night. So
he came here with an agenda. Did you go to the fight with an agenda of watching that fight to possibly challenge the winner?
Yeah, definitely. Not really call out anybody, but right now in my division, for those two fights, and those are two titles in my division that were being contended for. So I'm going to definitely. I went to watch the fights and see what's possible on the table for my next fight coming up. So I don't know who it is going to be right now, but I'm definitely open to stepping in the ring with anybody who fought last night.
I'm gonna go real quick on William Zepeda, and then it's gonna be all you from here out. But I just wanted to say really quickly what we saw last night from William Zepeda. What we didn't expect was to see an amount of intelligence from the kid, and it wasn't just in the ring. Fight night intelligence. It was the intelligence of knowing that they needed to take some time away from training, from fighting, which was a phenomenal plan for the team. And then as they started to game plan for Lamont Roach, after having the experience of Shakur Stevenson, a lot of fighters don't do this. A lot of camps don't do this. We got to come back better. We got to come back different. I thought they live and they die on the sword of being a volume puncher, not setting up certain punches, not creating angles to offset the offense of the other fighter and create more offense for yourself. And there was so much intelligence going on in the ring last night that I found. Obviously, I was very impressed. I was very impressed by that. And I said, you know what? Not only does this kid have an engine now, and it goes to show you, like a fight with you and William Zepeda, you both should grow after that fight because you're still relatively young. You still got more things to learn, more things to grow into as boxers. But William Zepeda learned from a fight that he had with Shakur Stevenson. You hate to get a loss, but a lot of times in a loss, that's why they say that is for learn. And that's just what I said. A loss forces you to stop and look at what's wrong. In a win, you do a lot wrong in a win, and you keep it moving because you got the win. And so it's like, you know, in a loss, you can't ignore what you've done wrong. I heard you say it time and time again ahead of you before your last fight. I just got to listen to the corner. I'm like, it's become the company line. Like, we're just saying, I got to listen to the corner, but you actually meant from the previous fight, you didn't follow the instructions of the corner to the T, now you've grown. You know, moving forward, I have to listen to my corner now, and kind of take us through that as well, like what it means to you to know that I can be out there on my own doing what I feel I need to do. And a lot of people say that this is one-on-one. They don't understand that how important the team is. We had that question last week about how important a coach is. So kind of take us through that, you know?
Yeah. One thing I can say about that is coming up through the pros, anytime that I got like a eye-catching stoppage or, a knockout or anything like that, it came from the training previous to the fight and during the fight. it'll show up by them, by the corner. All right, do it like this. It remind me of something we did in the training. Boom, boom, listen to the corner. It's over with. So it's definitely important to apply everything in a ring the way it's supposed to be applied. Of course, you got a way you apply it, and it works sometimes. And sometimes the corner works better because they have their eyes out there. So you definitely got to implement what they tell you and use your own expertise in there and just, make it work.
So real quick, we're going to see a better version than we saw from William Zepeda in his last fight. We're going to see even better version of him in his next fight. Reason being, again, you go back to the drawing board, you right some wrongs. Once you get in the ring on fight night and you actually implement it, like you were just saying, you what happens is psychologically you kind of learn that you can do it. You learn that it works, and then it's like a seed.
You trust yourself more.
It's like a seed, and now you watered that seed on fight night, and now it's grown, and like now that's where you are now. And then the next fight you water it some more. You know what I mean? So that's how it's supposed to work. Go ahead, Brendan.
I'm on a paper.
Now it's all Mason, you ain't got no fight name. What's your fight name?
I don't know, man. I just got an appetite for smoke right now.
We don't want to hear that. All right,
that's what it is.
We can call you Smoke.
Big Smoke.
I don't know about that. They probably come up with it. Everybody been calling me, stuff. So even coming up, they've been calling me the undercard main event before I even had a main event.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It's a lot of different.
I ain't never thought of that one.
That's came up with, but right now, I'm just Abdullah Mason.
Yeah. I wore all white today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all said, we're white. And I was like, I should have said that like 3 weeks ago. So I wore all white for you. But go ahead, Brendan. Go ahead.
But I remember back in 2022 when I saw when you guys all came down to Miami, and I did an interview with you, and you had a great line that always sticks with me. I use it even when I talk about other fighters. You said boxing will dictate who we fight. The results of who's at the top is going to be who we fight. And, obviously at the top, now Zepeda's at the top. I don't see why it can't happen. I feel like that's a fight that needs to happen. If you do plan on staying at 135 much longer, I know you're a growing young man, but I was telling Shawn, I was starting to break it down a little bit, and I'm not even sure how it would play out, because you have an appetite for smoke, and so does William Zepeda, and he's shown it, underrated intelligence, and what do you think when you hear William Zepeda, Abdullah Mason? What feelings come to mind?
I feel like one of those type of fights would definitely be a career-defining fight for me at this point. So he has everything that somebody would want to see me face. He got, he strong on the front foot, volume puncher. Yeah. He like he just said, he's using his head. So it'd definitely be a step up from any fight that I've ever had before. Y'all seen the Sam Noakes fight. It was a crazy fight. It was an amazing fight. Yeah. And I've grown from all my past fights. So me being able to implement everything I've learned, it'll show where I am in the sport, facing Zepeda, who just came off a great win.
You mentioned Sam Noakes. You also had the Johan Vasquez fights. How do you think those fights get you ready for a guy like William Zepeda? Or is Zepeda just like a different type of monster?
It's all experience. Mm-hmm. So, every little moment, you can't repeat it if it's something that that's that you kind of look down upon. It's something that you don't want to do. You can't repeat it. And early on in a fight, that's where, certain mistakes happen or anything like that. So just knowing to stay sharp, stay on top of everything he's doing. Don't let him gain an upper hand. Anything like that. It's definitely going to show when one of those type of fights. Okay. And he's him being right here with me. It's no telling who's going to be the next fight, but for that to be the next one, it'd be crazy. It'd be big. It'd be something that'd make boxing great again.
I think what excites me about you going forward at 22 is there's the rare breed of fighters that are born with enough talent and they become skilled enough that they can be on the top 10 pound for pound, but then simultaneously they have a crowd-pleasing style. They have punching power. They try to put combinations together. They look to end the fight inside of 12 rounds. And you don't always get those both matched up together. You got some fighters that have that elite talent and skill level and top 10 pound. Then you get other fighters that are exciting, but when you can put them both together,
Right.
those are usually they're boxer punchers, and that's usually my favorite kind of fighter. So Abdullah, he's got the 74-inch reach like Boots Ennis does, like Terence Crawford does. And those are two guys born with a lot of speed and talent, but they tend to end the fight inside the distance, and that's their mentality. Benavidez is that way. Inoue is that way. Guys like Leonard and Hearn, they were that way. Do you look at yourself in that vein? Like it's not just about becoming one of the best, but also doing it in that kind of fashion.
I mean, you definitely want to. I mean, that's what makes boxing what it is. People watch boxing for the exciting action of it. So, I feel like me, just naturally having that style, it makes people want to watch. So, it definitely isn't aligned with those type of fighters. But you get great fighters, you gotta have the skill set to be able to do what you got to do to come out with the win. So you got to box. Somebody coming forward crazy. Somebody doing something that you're not looking at all the time. That's not the general style that you're up against. You still got to be ready for that at this level. So it's just honing the craft. That's what makes those type of fighters.
How you feel about the comparisons? There's a lot of comparisons to you and Bud, Terence Crawford. A lot of comparisons to you and Boots, Jaron, Ennis. How do you feel about those comparisons?
I feel like it's like you said. It's that similar mindset when you step in the ring. Us wanting to get the job done and knowing that we could do it.
But how do you feel though? Like when people used to compare me to Mike Tyson when I was an amateur because I was knocking a lot of guys out, and I was like, you know what I mean? Made me feel like
that's flattering.
The more, it made me feel like And then once you find out Mike's reputation, stuff like that, I was like, nah, I ain't Mike. You know what I mean? So I kind of I like some of the comparisons and then some of them I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, do you like the comparisons? Are you like bring it on, or you like nah, I'm better than?
I can't say I like or dislike it because I know it's something that comes with the sport. You got a style that's similar to somebody's style. Yeah, they're gonna automatically compare you with another fighter. So I definitely am my own person inside the ring. I feel like, I put my style together my own way. But, if they compare it, I mean, they see something similar on a side that's, he's a great fighter. He could put it together like this fighter, or this fighter got this, and he put it together like this fighter. He's a great fighter like this. So that means that they seeing a lot of great things coming up in my style. Mm-hmm. So, I'm definitely my own person outside the ring and inside the ring, but if they see similarities, I feel like that might be a good thing.
Have you intentionally watched any fighters to adopt style, adopt punch, and if so, who?
More so the throwback fighters, but that's the funny thing is coming up in the sport of boxing, we didn't really watch no boxing.
Me neither.
Yeah, so like
it's very common.
You said what?
Me neither.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So
fell asleep during Bernard and Kelly Patrick. How dare you? It's crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, most of what I do just comes from us putting the work in the gym and me kind of learning my own style, on my own.
Mm-hmm. So you mistakenly box a lot like Terence Crawford. You mistakenly box a lot like Jaron Ennis.
No, but I see the growth in him becoming Abdullah Mason.
Absolutely.
Just like Jaron, it's like southpaw, same reach, can switch. Of course, we're going to compare him to Terence Crawford, and then but now you're starting to see Boots has his own bag. He has his own
the flavors are different.
Right, and in that Bell fight, he finishes in his own way. He has his own punch selection. Mm-hmm. He does his own thing. It's just those similarities of southpaw. Power, speed.
If I'm not wrong, and I think you're gonna correct me if he don't, but the beginning of that last round against Bell, you came out and you threw a leaping left hook. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Yeah. I'm right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like I was like that. We hadn't seen that punch the entire fight.
You been watching Roy Jones?
No, I haven't.
Well, no. When I'm asking it, like in the heat,
heat in general, I was like, okay, those are different punches than I saw the first 11 rounds.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
what
was like, what was telling you to come out and throw the leaping left hook, or did it just like happen?
No, it was specifically the corner.
Yeah.
So they was like, yo,
listen to the corner.
They was like, yo, lock. In other words, they like lock in.
Yeah.
And my pop's like, yo, do it like this, do it like that, do it like this. And I was like, yo, do I need to stop him? He said, what you mean? Go ahead, go out there and do what you do. So I said, all right, bet. So, I just flipped that switch and I said, okay, bet. He not getting out this 12th round. So as soon as it started.
But the punch selection, though, I'm telling you, like that hook, we hadn't seen that hook the whole fight.
Yeah.
Did that specific punch come from the corner? Or was that something you just?
Yeah, it came from the corner.
Yeah,
it came from the corner. Yeah. I've been seeing it for a while, but the fight was sticking to the game plan. So sticking to the game plan, breaking them down, touch it downstairs if you watch it, and then he's like, "Yo, change them levels, up, down." And I've been seeing that fight. I've been seeing that punch, and he said, "Okay, but change them levels," and I did that.
I didn't have y'all losing that fight, but when you went back and watched it, have you watched it?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you have yourself down?
Not at all.
Yeah, I was like,
it was looking a little sketchy halfway through.
Yeah,
Albert was doing his thing.
He was doing his thing, but he wasn't losing.
Yeah, definitely wasn't losing.
Yeah,
he wasn't losing.
Well, yeah. My impression ringside is like I feel like after about round 7 or so, Albert kind of ran out of ideas. Like his rhythm, he doesn't really have another gear fight in a different rhythm. So I feel like you were able to really turn it up offensively because of that. That was one of the reasons you had a lot of success down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, you could see that everything he did was predicated on what I did. So it was no initiation on his part. And just rewatch the fight and just watch closely, like a lot of the stuff, my high guard, just catching stuff close right here. A lot of the stuff that they were hyping up. Oh man, his right landed here, right landed. Though everything that they said landed, catch. So, I just say just rewatch it, just watch it without the commentary or something like that, just to really get a good assessment of how the fight went.
Respectfully, that's when you gotta watch without the commentary. Respectfully.
Yeah. And what's interesting in Abdullah's career too, I remember you coming out sparring Devin Haney.
Yeah.
You were 15, I think. Maybe 16 at most.
Yeah, I think I was
15.
I had just turned 16, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
right, and which I treasure as a memory now. Like now, you're watching like two Hall of Fame type talents.
Yeah.
But, he has this, and I've said this raw. I'm not just saying it because he's here. He has this raw upside that I think could, and just upside talent. That could, with reach and power, that can eclipse even the Devins, the Shakurs, the Keishans, and Tank. But one thing they have over you, and they're to respect them, they came up under the Floyds and the Crawfords and the Andres. They stayed in the amateur program longer. I think probably got more decorated. You went pro very young as a teenager, and so did Devin. But he won a lot of national tournaments, etc. And from all that, and you guys are getting it from the mud. Like you guys are doing it very tight-knit from the family, but they got all this out, and Mike McCallum and Roy Jones, They got all this outside game from legends. And I think at his age, they were more savvy and craftier. He's got the upside, just the electricity in the fist, the speed power combo, but they have a little bit more, to my eyes, for whatever it's worth, that pre-punch feinting, that little crafty and savviness from those guys. And so my question is, like, how do you assess that? How do you close that gap? Because I think if you can reach your ceiling, and that's why I asked you yesterday, I'm like, how's it going along using the most of that 74-inch reach? What you mean?
I feel like at this point, it's kind of turning it on when you need to. You know what I'm saying? You've seen that coming up in, when I first turned pro, some of that you're saying, that you're talking about the savviness or whatever. But, in a pro is everything you need is you need to be sharp. You need to be tight. You need to, do what you got to do to get the win. And that's where I'm at. And anything else, I could add it in there, implement my own, my own swag to it or whatever, and make it look better, make it look pretty. Sometimes use that speed, make it, whatever I got to do to go in there and really push everything to that next level. So I feel like I definitely still have that to where that hasn't really been shown at this level that I'm at now. So definitely getting in there with some fighters like, Raymond Mortaya, Zepeda, whoever got those titles, I feel like that'll show a lot more of that.
I guess what I'm getting at is how much do you feel like you'll be able, because they're all a little older than you and got the seasoning and experience, can you match them up here? I know the physical is there.
For sure.
The speed, the power, the length, but do you feel like when the time comes against those type of guys, you'll be able to match them in the IQ?
Most definitely. And not just that, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pair of eyes outside the ring. So, I'm taking from a little bit from everybody, putting it together. And, with my pops in the corner, I feel like I definitely can match anybody's IQ.
He just pointed to the whole family that's in here.
Whole tribe.
Brought the gang in. And we're going to... Hayfie ain't gonna like it, but we're gonna sneak them all in here at near the end of this thing. And I forgot my question that I have for you. We saw you July 4th, and obviously we're gonna see you again before the end of the year. Do you realistically have any forecast right now on when and who possibly you're gonna be fighting next? I
don't have any forecast on who. But I would definitely love to get in there again before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, that would, if I could say how, for things to go how I want it to go, I would definitely be in there again before the end of the year.
Yeah, but at the moment, you don't really have a date in mind for yourself or
no specific date.
Yeah.
Specific date, but I would love to get one in.
And then the question that I have for you, I've been...
Mandatory's tough, Shawn. That's actually not a bad fight.
See,
the Argentinian, Alan Chavez.
So he's got a mandatory right now at the IBF?
The Southpaw Argentine.
Yeah.
I actually tweeted the other day. I said, even though it's not like a big
he said,
name, even though it's not a big
goddamn figure.
Even though it's not a big name, I actually one of the fights I want to see the most in boxing, it actually is Abdullah Mason versus Alan Chavez.
Zepeda more, but
why?
Yeah. I watched him. I've only watched him fight one time, and he fought Miguel Madueño, the Mexican that took Quiche on the distance. And I was just very impressed with how he was setting up his shots and punching through the target. And I just envisioned him versus Abdullah Mason. I said, wow, that's a damn good fight, and it might be happening because he's ranked pretty highly. I know his next fight is September 4th.
Oh, okay.
On the Emma Williams Vita Monecki card.
Oh, okay.
So
he'll be in New York or Newark.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that kid, the Argentinian?
I seen that knockout, but I didn't really see none of it.
You haven't you haven't really watched him, or
not really. No. Yeah.
The question I have for you, before I was rudely interrupted.
I'm sorry.
Like I said, man, I've been paying attention to you for a little while now, and it seems not only are you maturing outside of the ring, obviously maturing inside of the ring, your presence and everything that you're doing has like really started to grow very strong. Is it important for you to become a star in boxing? Because you're becoming a star.
I feel like that's I feel like that comes with what we're doing. That comes with the process. In a process of me, getting these big fights and performing how I'm supposed to perform.
Yeah.
In the sport of boxing, I will become like a household name that anybody think of boxing of right now, they be, oh man, we want to watch Abdullah Mason. He's at the top of the sport at this level.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is I feel like that naturally comes with the way we working.
One more, and then I'm gonna have you come out, and I'm gonna have Dad come in. Okay. Yeah, go. You got one more?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, go.
So to your point about being a star in the sport of boxing, your last fight, your entrance was really, really good. You seem to understand entertainment because you had like the Cleveland Browns mascot, and you came out to Slick Rick, Hey Young World. There was a bunch of medley of songs you came out to. So just what was the inspiration behind your last entrance? Because for people that were in the arena, it was really.
It was electric. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest, that's all my pops for real.
Oh, okay.
That's all my pops for real.
I ain't mad at you.
Because I was like, what?
we definitely
come on in, Dad. Yeah.
Me and my brothers definitely have a kind of a final saying how we want it to look, but
right there.
Everything put together, strategically, it's not all me.
Yeah. Thanks, Brandon.
For sure. Appreciate you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Doing, man.
Dad.